afternoon, and thank you all for joining us for this first news conference of 2023. Joining us today are Dan Marvin, our Director of the city's Urban Development Department, Wayne Mortensen, the Chief Executive Officer of Neighborworks Lincoln, Mark Shkolnick from Lincoln Electric System, Brandy Johnson, a Community Affairs Manager with Black Hills Energy, local property owner Jake Grease, and Greg Baker of the Everett Neighborhood Association. And I also want to acknowledge and thank the city council members who are available to be with us today. Councilor Sandra Washington, Councilman Richard McGinnis, and our newest council leader, Michelle Suarez, are all here present today to celebrate this announcement. So we are here today to make an announcement related to one of my administration's top priorities, maintaining and increasing the supply of affordable, high quality, accessible, and safe housing. Our basic human need to be housed cuts across all ages and income levels and unites us around a shared vision to protect and advance the health, safety, economic opportunity, and quality of life of every Lincoln resident. So our city team maximizes our impact when we partner with community stakeholders who share our commitment to affordable housing. And our work together resulted in our city's first ever coordinated affordable housing action plan, with an ambitious goal to grow our affordable housing stock and the development of community-wide resolve and resources to achieve our goal. So with help from our public and private sector partners, local, state, and federal support, and innovative programs and incentives, we are reaching some of our biggest goals together. And my administration is ahead of schedule on achieving our ambitious goal to create 5,000 new or rehabilitated affordable housing units by 2030. Today, we're adding another story to the foundation of work underway to ensure that affordable housing exists for all Lincoln residents. And I'm pleased to announce that we are launching our residential rental rehabilitation pilot project. It's a multi-year effort to ensure high-quality, affordable housing in our community. The first phase of this project anticipates supporting improvements to 130 rental dwelling units in the south of downtown area, which includes parts of both the Everett and Near South neighborhoods. And this new initiative to improve the quality and to increase the affordability of our older housing stock in Lincoln will make life better for over 100 families in our community during this first phase of the project. And thanks to our community partners, this project has the added benefit of increasing energy efficiency and protecting the health of our community members by improving the health and safety of their dwellings. And here to share more details about this exciting new program is our city's Urban Development Director, Dan Marvin. Dan? There you are.
Oh, I'm here. Thank you, Mayor. We have collaborated with members of the Everett and Near South neighborhoods to create the South of Downtown Redevelopment and Strategic Plan. That process and the plan identifies rental rehab as the #1 priority for residents. To develop a pilot rental rehab program, we have interviewed landlords and tenants. We've discovered that landlords and tenants share common priorities: windows, doors, heating and air conditioning systems, and insulation. Foundations and roofs were also listed. All of these increase the efficiency and extend the life of these buildings, which helps affordability for tenants today and into the future. When we started this process, we did not know how many apartments we would want to enroll. Would landlords jump at the opportunity to address the long-term issues while at the same time agreeing to long-term housing affordability? To my surprise, we had over 1,200 apartments express interest. Given the large response, we established a few criteria for selecting the first group to be part of this pilot program. First, housing affordability, meaning maintaining affordable rents that were at or below the national HUD standards for housing affordability, was one criteria. Second was the age of the building. The average age of buildings in our first group is 1913, over 100 years old. Helping extend the life of some of Lincoln's most affordable housing for the next 30 years is a good investment in the future for Lincoln. Losing an affordable housing unit is a permanent loss to this community. Maintaining those units provides affordable, quality housing options for families and residents in neighborhoods that are walkable, bikeable, close to schools, and right next door to great amenities. Everett Near South neighborhoods have some of the oldest and most affordable housing stock in Lincoln. As part of the redevelopment strategic plan I mentioned earlier, we have a funding stream that the district will provide for the next 10 years, helping to improve properties in the core of this city. The pilot program will help determine how we can extend this program to other parts of the city, working to address long-term affordability issues while preserving Lincoln's housing. Mayor?
Thanks so much, Dan. One of our city's key partners in advancing affordable housing is Neighborworks Lincoln, and thanks to organizations like Neighborworks, we are delivering on our shared commitment to make quality, affordable, accessible housing available for all our residents. And I'd like to invite up to the podium now Neighborworks CEO Wayne Mortensen to talk about the benefits of this pilot project from his perspective.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you all for being here. Neighborworks Lincoln is thrilled to help the city, to partner with the city and help administer this pilot program. We've partnered frequently in the past with the city and the partners up here, but very rarely has it been with something that is aligned so closely with our mission. And that's a mission that was founded 36 years ago to improve lives through increased opportunities to affordable housing and strengthen neighborhoods. This program has the potential to do both, and frankly in ways that it's very hard to accomplish in any other way. The grant money that the landlords receive will be used really altruistically to improve the living conditions of current and existing residents in the south of downtown area. At Neighborworks, we're going to leverage our 36 years of development and construction expertise around affordable housing to help landlords and property owners of all ability levels and experiences to refine the scope of projects that are needed with their properties in the south of downtown, to oversee the work that's done to ensure that the work is quality and is what was claimed to have been undertaken, and then to help the city ensure that the landlords are living up to their end of the bargain and keeping these units affordable for the long term. This program is one of those really sensitive needle threads in which we can elevate the quality of life for residents in Lincoln without displacing anybody that currently calls this neighborhood home. Again, this is a program that Neighborworks Lincoln is very bullish about, its opportunity and its ability to effectuate change in a triple bottom line sustainability model, and we're eager to put our emphasis and expertise to work in helping this program perform at its maximum capacity. So thank you for the opportunity, Mayor, and we look forward to helping the program succeed.
Thanks so much, Wayne. Investments in affordable housing are also investments in our neighbors and our neighborhoods, as Wayne was discussing. And the historic Everett and Near South neighborhoods are some of Lincoln's earliest, dating back to the beginnings of our community in the late 1800s. And with such history comes opportunities to rehabilitate some of our city's oldest and most unique residents. Here to talk about the project from a neighborhood perspective is Greg Baker with the Everett Neighborhood Association. Greg?
Thank you, Mayor. Why am I excited to be here today is very simple. I live in the south of downtown at 11th and D, moved my family there 13 years ago. I've had the pleasure of working with almost everyone up here in one aspect or another. The south of downtown was recommended some program like this, and here we are today to see the fruition of that, which is beyond what I had dreamed. So super excited about that. Everett, a little statistic, we are 93 to 94% rental, which means we have lots of rental units that need to be addressed in the affordable housing arena. I'm one of the few homeowners, moved my family there, like I said, 13 years ago. Super excited as the president of Everett Neighborhood Association to have worked with Wynn Hermstead, who I would like to point out with urban development, one of the first people I met, worked on the 11th Streetscape. We got incredibly aesthetically beautiful bioswales that are also very clean. Very proud of that in the Everett Neighborhood Association, and that's been extended to other areas of the city. Next, I was pleasure to meet our mayor and work with her on numerous things. And I just want to thank you for keeping the neighborhoods at the forefront, because that's what makes up the city. Super effective with that. Next was Wayne Mortensen with Neighborworks. I just came off a 5-year stint on the board of Neighborworks Lincoln, And I cannot tell you what a relief it is to me that they're going to be heading up this program as far as making sure things get done. I can guarantee you that their heart of altruistic looking after new homeowners and renters will be very, very effective. So just want to thank everyone that I've worked with, and the city should be very, very proud of a program like this because it's pretty unusual. Thanks.
Thank you, Greg, and thanks for your leadership in the neighborhoods. While neighbors and neighborhoods will benefit from the upgrades made possible by this project, landlords and property owners will also reap the benefits. And I'd now like to invite up one of these property owners, Jake Grease, to share more about how this program will impact his tenants and properties. Jake?
Well, I just want to say I'm really happy to be here. My wife and I own just a few rental properties, a couple here in Lincoln and one in my hometown of Grand Island. And as a person who lives in this area of the city, I really feel invested, not only as a property owner, but also as a father and a husband. I've got 4 little kids who I feel very vested in this neighborhood in general. And so the property that's been chosen of ours that will be able to take advantage of this program is a historic home that my wife and I were drawn to when we first saw the listing by our good friend Greg McCowan, who also is like a huge pillar of this part of the city. Shout out to Greg if you're watching, but this home was built by a pillar of Lincoln, a man who founded a bank in the late 1800s, and the ability, and it's also funny because my neighbor James Young saved this house from being torn down by a fraternity that used to own it. So there's a lot of history even with our own house, and so to be able to extend the life of the property by putting in new windows, putting in AC, increasing the insulation is not only going to help the tenants that currently live there, 2 families with young kids, but it's also going to just elongate the property value, and will be hopefully will be able to be enjoyed by people in the neighborhood and the community for years to come. So I just want to say thank you to everyone who is a part of this program. Thank you, Mayor, for this initiative, and I really appreciate the investment and the care about this historic neighborhood that means a lot to myself and my family. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you, Jake. This really is about making life better for families today and well into the future. Next, we have a discussion about how this advances not only our affordable housing goal, but also some of our resilient Lincoln goals. We're looking at how this project will increase residential energy efficiency. And here to speak to that is LES Energy Services Manager Mark Shkolnick.
Thank you, Mayor. And on behalf of Lincoln Electric System, we are truly excited to be a part of this wonderful collaborative effort and to continue the utility's support for affordable housing. Over the last 2 years, the utility has provided over $250,000 to homes that, income qualifying homeowners that were in need of increased insulation or replacement of aged mechanical systems, primarily working with the Community Action Partnership. This opportunity is tremendous, though, because the rental market, the segment of the housing stock that is rental, is one of the most difficult to reach. And that's simply because the tenants pay the bills, the owners therefore don't always have an incentive to invest in energy efficiency, and yet this collaborative effort allows for that to happen. It allows for partners to come together and address a market that's in great need of support. It furthers the utility's commitment to increasing energy efficiency, reducing wasted energy and the emissions that go along with that. And we are ready and excited to be an active participant in the effort going forward. And I really want to applaud the leadership of the mayor, of Dan Marvin, and everyone involved in bringing the players together to make this a reality. Thank you.
Well, thanks for your leadership, Mark, and that of LES. We could not do this without you. And we also couldn't do this without another key community partner, Black Hills Energy. And here to share more about how this project will complement Black Hills' commitment to sustainability is Brandy Johnson. Brandy?
Thank you. Good afternoon. Thank you, Mayor, for having me here. I'm excited to be here. Mark explained it really well, the importance of this project for tenants in this area. And last year, Black Hills Energy shared our goal to reduce our own emissions to net zero. So sustainability is incredibly important, and reducing emissions and using energy in a more efficient way. And we're proud to support this project because it will provide energy efficient upgrades for heating homes in this neighborhood. And as the homes are being updated, they'll be able to use our heat rebate program, which provides funding for more efficient natural gas heating. And the most efficient energy is the energy we never use. And so providing access to these funds will help them replace older, inefficient heating equipment. They'll spend less on heating their homes in the wintertime, and they'll use less energy in a sustainable, efficient way. And we're pleased to be a part of that. So thank you for having us here today.
Thanks so much, Brandy. Our residential rental rehabilitation pilot project, say that 5 times fast. This project demonstrates the positive impacts that we can deliver for our residents and our neighborhoods when we work together like this. And I really do want to echo the gratitude we've heard today. I want to thank our city's urban development team, all of these community partners and more, our neighborhood residents who are stepping up and engaging with us, and of course property owners, because all of these folks came together to create the ideas and programs that we're launching, and all of these ideas and programs that are needed to take our affordable housing efforts to even greater heights. With that, we can turn it over to questions from the media and those who are here on Zoom and in person.
So how much money are you putting into this pilot, and where is it coming from?
I'm going to ask Dan Marvin to come up and talk about that. It is coming from tax increment financing, and we have some estimates of what we anticipate spending. Dan, do you want to speak to that?
We brought forward a strategic plan for the south of downtown, and in that was the opportunity to have a district that would then allow for revenue from the district to go towards what we're using today. So it's district tax increment financing. And the first year is a culmination of a number of sources. One would be an in lieu of contribution that we earned from a project that was done in the neighborhood, and then 2 years of revenue from the district. So the total amount is just under $2 million. We expect to be able to do this annually, maybe not at that level, but our goal is to be able to do 1,000 units over 10 years.
Other questions? Yeah, go ahead.
On, you know, people who apply, you know, how much money they can get for their improvements, or does it just depend on the project?
That's a good question. So one of the ways we went about trying to identify what is the amount that the grant should be, and we had conversations with landlords in that neighborhood, had focus groups, and as part of that conversation we asked, what's the amount that you would expect on average should be granted over to assist? And the number that we coalesced around was $15,000 per unit. So if we grant out at about 100 units, that'd be $1.5 million.
Leveraging LES.
Oh, yes, and I want to, thank you, Wayne. I think the key part of this is the way this money can be used. We have a lead-based paint program that we're administering through urban development. So part of the conversation we have with all of our landlords is, do you have lead in your building? I'm kind of a Led Zeppelin fan, so we say we want to get the lead out. And so we have those conversations, and a number of the buildings, I think of the 130, it could very well be 60 of the apartments will have lead remediated out of there. We want to have conversations with LES because they have a program that provides insulation. And Wayne has schooled me on this, that there's this issue called knob and tube wiring. So you've got knob and tube in there. LES, Mark's going to say, well, I can't help you out on that. So can we rewire the building so that it can be safely insulated and address that issue, and these dollars might go there. And then it may have a boiler in the basement, and we have a conversation with Black Hills and say, this boiler could be updated, and we'll find out a way to partner with Black Hills to make the most sensible way to invest that way. So each building is going to be a collaborative effort from all of our different partners to provide the biggest bang for the buck, and thereby get the most out of what we can do from our landlords, and then be able to ensure the long-term energy efficiency of the building, the viability of the building, and maintain rents that are below the HUD fair market value.
So the energy efficient things is a collaboration. So the city will say, here's improvements you could make through this grant program to be able to use these programs
Yes.
existing within.
And the standalone, I think the conundrum has been, but I don't have funds to take care of knob and tube, or I've got a stoop that's got a problem here and I can't make it accessible to someone. So there is going to be a collaboration to address individual items. And I know in Jacob's case, we think we can create an additional unit that's currently not being utilized, so we'll be able to expand the availability of apartments in Everett as well. So it really will tax Wayne's team a little bit on trying to look at creative solutions and then pull our partners in together to come up with solutions.
Question in the chat from KFOR News. Do you have a preference for single-family multi-unit homes?
So all of this is rental rehab, and I think the group that we have coming forward have some single homes that are rentals, some homes that have 3 units in them, and then a project that we have, the largest project we have is an apartment building with 40 units in it. So we have a wide range of units that we're looking at. We haven't really discriminated one or earmarked one over the other.
Have all the properties been chosen for the pilot, or is that not
It's
going?
a little hard to answer that because we haven't had everybody signed on the dotted line, but we did bring all the people that we felt met the initial criteria for phase 1, had them in, like Jacob, to have conversations about what the full program entails. And I think that the takeaway from that was kind of in general a favorable thumbs up, and we expect to be able to go forward. My council friends are in the room. There will be some items that will come before council in terms of potential budget resolutions or CIP adjustments that we'll have to do to get authorizations for this as well. And so those conversations will continue through February, and we should be able to wrap that up by the end of February.
Just wanted to follow up on your question about affordability, in that when we set out to preserve the existing affordable housing stock in our community, we knew that it would take a group effort. But one of the amazing things about this particular project is that we are not only preserving affordability, in some cases we are increasing affordability, because we're partnering with our folks who are improving the energy efficiency and helping us with utilities. In some cases, utility costs will then come down for these renters, making their overall living situation more affordable. So increasing housing affordability is an added bonus of this project.
Yes.
Got another question in the chat from KFOR News. Will this program include demolishing any homes?
Short answer, no.
No, this is about improving existing
Yeah,
housing
this is-
stock.
but I think the longer answer on that is, that's the reason for the program, because as buildings get older, the capital cost to maintain them, creates a problem. And what we've learned is that the most affordable housing that we have in our community is the housing that already exists. An apartment that goes, new construction apartments are going to run in the neighborhood of $200,000 a unit. There is no way you can charge an affordable rent if your out-of-pocket cost as a developer is $200,000 per unit. So we have to work to maintain what we have so that we can maintain affordable rents within the community. So this is to avoid further deterioration and demolition.
Another question from KFOR News. Will the federal government investigation into getting rid of gas stoves have any bearing on the improvements you'll fund?
No, I did hear that yesterday. I was talking to Wynn about this. I said, Wynn, do you have a gas stove or an electric? Wynn says she's got a gas, and 40% of the people in the country have gas stoves. So this is not about removing gas stoves from apartment buildings.
All right, any other questions? Okay, well, thank you so much for tuning in to learn about this exciting project. Thank you so much to our partners. Thank you to our city leaders who are here with us. And we look forward to help improving housing across our community. Thank you.